In a time long ago, before the noise of machines and the rush of city markets, when the drumbeat guided the day and the moonlight was the storyteller's lantern, there lived a girl named Ngozi. Now, children, sit close, because this story is not just about her. It is about you, about me, and about all who have ever stretched their hand too far, thinking the world was not enough for them. A palmful of food is enough for the hungry, but a bag of stolen grain may still starve the greedy. So listen well. This tale of the Greedy Ngozi has traveled from mouth to mouth, from fire to fire, and today, it finds its way to your ears. The village of Umwogo. Ngozi was born in Umwogo, a fertile village tucked between tall hills and the winding river Oji. The land was generous. Yams grew fat in the soil, cassava stretched like sleeping giants beneath the earth, and palm trees stood like proud sentinels offering oil, wine, and fruit. The people of Umwogo lived simply. They worked their farms in the morning, rested in the shade at noon, and in the evenings, the air rang with laughter, flute songs, and the thump of drums. Yet even in such a place of plenty, there are hearts that thirst for more than their hands can hold. Ngozi's heart was one such. From the time she could walk, she reached for 2 kola nuts instead of 1, 2 pieces of roasted maize when others had 1, and 2 calabashes of palm wine when one would satisfy. Her mother, Mama Obioma, often scolded her gently. Nwam, the river does not drink its own water. Why must you take more than your share? But Ngozi would only laugh, flashing her bright eyes, and say, if the river has water, why not drink deeply? The elders shook their heads, for they knew. A child who insists on playing with fire will one day smell smoke on her wrapper. The Festival of New Yams. The turning point of Ngozi's story began during the Festival of New Yams. It was the most awaited time in Umwogo. Families decorated their compounds, drummers rehearsed, dancers painted their bodies with white chalk, and the air was thick with the smell of roasted yam and spicy palm oil stew. On the morning of the festival, everyone gathered in the square. The chief priest broke the first yam to honor the gods of the land, pouring palm wine on the ground as libation. Ngozi, dressed in a wrapper too bright for her years and beads that clicked with every step, sat among the maidens. She smiled, but her eyes were not on the dance, nor the drumming, nor the laughter. Her eyes were fixed on the chief priest's basket. Inside it lay the fattest tubers of yam, golden palm oil in clay pots, and a carved god filled with sacred kola. These were meant for the gods and the community, not for one hand alone. But greed blinds even the sharpest eye. That night, when the square had emptied and the fires burned low, Ngozi crept like a shadow. She slipped her hand into the sacred basket and stole not 1, not 2, but 3 tubers of yam, a whole pot of palm oil, and the kola meant for prayer. She thought no one saw her. But the spirits of the land are not blind. The warning of the drummer. The next morning, the village drummer, Okoro, beat his talking drum at the square. Ngozi. Ngozi. The yam is not yours. The oil is not yours. Return what you have taken, before the land takes back its breath. Ngozi's heart thudded. How could Okoro know? Had anyone seen her? She laughed it off, clapping her hands. Old Okoro is always drumming nonsense. Who believes a drum that talks too much? But inside, her greed only grew stronger. She cooked the stolen yam, drowned it in palm oil, and ate until her stomach stretched. That night, her dreams were heavy. She saw herself in a forest where yams grew taller than trees, but each time she reached for one, it crumbled into dust. A voice whispered through the trees. Greedy child, your hands will never be full. You will chase and chase, until even the earth spits you out. Ngozi woke with sweat clinging to her skin. But did she change? No. The seed of greed had already taken root. The stranger at the river. One evening, while fetching water from River Oji, Ngozi met a stranger. His clothes were unlike any she had seen, woven with patterns that shifted like the ripples of the river. His eyes glowed faintly, like embers beneath ash. He smiled at her. "You are Ngozi, the girl who hungers for more than her hands can carry." Her heart skipped. "Who are you?" "I am but a traveler," he said, dipping a calabash into the river. "I can give you what you desire. Riches beyond counting. Yams that never finish. Oil that never runs dry. All you need is to follow me." Ngozi's pulse raced. Riches without end. Was this not what she had always wanted? She nodded eagerly. But the stranger's smile was too sharp, like a knife hidden in laughter. The elders say, "When the river is too sweet, beware the crocodile." Into the forbidden forest. The stranger led Ngozi into the forbidden forest, a place children were warned never to enter. Trees there twisted into strange shapes, their branches like arms reaching for the sky. Strange cries echoed in the dark, neither bird nor beast. At the center of the forest stood a giant anthill, glowing faintly under the moon. The stranger touched it, and it split open like a doorway. Inside was a chamber filled with treasures, pots of gold cowries, baskets of yam that glowed, and rivers of palm oil that shimmered like fire. Ngozi gasped. "All this, for me?" The stranger nodded. "Take as much as you wish. But remember, what you take is bound to you forever." She did not think. She did not ask. She plunged her hands into the treasures, filling her wrapper, her calabash, even tying knots of cowries into her hair. Her laughter rang through the forest. But the anthill shuddered. The ground trembled. The stranger's eyes burned brighter. Ngozi had crossed a line she could never return from. The tale now unfolds into many twists and turns. Ngozi's greed leads to betrayal, the forest spirits begin to haunt her, the village turns against her, and even her closest friends face danger because of her choices. The story weaves through festivals, curses, mysterious bargains, trickster characters, and redemption arcs, until it all builds to a breathtaking climax where Ngozi must face the ultimate consequence of her endless hunger. In the final chapters, Ngozi discovers that the treasure she hoarded was not wealth, but a curse. The yams rot to worms, the oil turns to blood-red sludge, and the cowries in her hair burn like fire. She runs back to the village, crying for help, but the elders remind her. The hand that refuses to learn from small pain will one day embrace great sorrow. The story closes with Ngozi's fall into legend, her name forever remembered not for beauty or laughter, but for greed. And the elder who finishes the tale says to the listeners, "Children, eat what you are given and be satisfied. For the greedy mouth swallows shame with its food." To be enjoying beautiful stories from this channel, do subscribe, turn on your notification